So we will be doing some ohms and circuit problems. And so here's the first one. What current flows through a curling iron plugged into a 200-volt circuit if it has a resistance of 50 ohms? So here is our triangle/formula chart, and here's the equation we will be using. I stands for current, R stands for resistance, V stands for voltage. We're looking for the current, so that's I, and then we're just going to plug in these two values they give us into our equation. So it will look like so. I equals 200 V over 50 ohms, which will give us an answer of 4A is equal to I for our total currents. Our next problem says an iPhone uses a 3-volt battery. How much resistance is in the current if it uses a current of 0.25A? So again, we have our triangle/formula chart. Here's the equation we will be using for this problem. We're just going to plug in the two values they give us, and it will look like this. So it'll be R for resistance, because that's what we're finding. R equals 3.0 V over 0.25A, which will give us an answer of 12 ohms equal to R for our total resistance in this problem. The next problem says a light bulb has a resistance of 12 ohms and a max current of 20 amps. How much voltage can be applied before the light bulb will break? So again, we have our triangle/formula chart, and here's the equation we will be using and plugging in the two values they give us into this equation for the variables. And it will look like this. V equals 20A for our current and 12 ohms for our resistance, which will give us an answer of 240 V for our total voltage in this problem. So our next problem says calculate the voltage produced when 10 2-volt batteries are combined in a circuit. They are used to power a 10-ohm light bulb. What is the current flowing through the closed circuit? So here's our formula chart/triangle, and this is the equation we will be using for this problem, except this problem is a two-step problem. So we have, because it says there's 10 2V batteries, we have to find the total voltage of it so we can plug it in here. And so that's going to be our first step. So that is going to look like this. We will just multiply 10 by 2V to give us a total voltage of 20V, which is what we're going to plug in for here. And then for R, we're just going to plug in the 10 ohm they gave us. So it's going to look like this. This would be 20V over 10 ohm, which is going to be 2A equal to I for our total current.
So today we're going to figure out how to work through 5 through 10 of the ohms problems for the worksheet. So the first question is what current flows through a curling iron plugged into a 150 volt circuit if it has a resistance of 10 ohms? So as in the triangle, you can see that V is here, and then it's A and then ohms, or V, and then I and the R, which the I is the current and the R is the resistance and the V is the voltage. So V equals IR, so when you rearrange the problem, A equals V over R. So in the problem we're told that it's a 150 of voltage and then a resistance of 10 ohms. So in order to find the current, you do A equals V divided by R. So you plug it into the problem, and A equals 150 volts over 10 ohms. And when you divide that, you get 15A. And that's how you do the first problem. or the fifth problem. And then for number 6, it says determine the total resistance for the following circuit. Well, this is a series circuit, so what you're going to do is you have resistance 1, which is 150 or 100 ohms. You have resistance 2, which is 300 ohms, and you have resistance 3, which is 50 ohms. And you add up all the resistance, and that's what you get your total resistance. So 100 ohms plus 300 ohms is 400, and then 400 plus 50 ohms is 450 ohms. So that's the total resistance for number 6. Number 7, it says determine the total resistance of the following circuit, and this is a parallel circuit. So you have to find the common denominator, which in this case it's 10. So R1 is 10, R2 is 2, R3 is 1 ohms, and so in this case it's the common denominator is 10, so you do 10 over 10, you do 2 over 10, which is R2, and then 1 over 10, and you get 13 over 10 ohms. And that's how you get the total resistance for this parallel circuit. Okay, so for number 8, it says a 15-volt bus battery pushes a charge through a headlight circuit with a resistance of 3 ohms. How much current is passing through the circuit? Well, like we had in the similar problem, it's V in the triangle IR, and we're trying to find current again. So you cover up the I, and it's V over R, and that's what equals current. So when you rearrange the problem, I equals V divided by R. Well, the voltage is 15V. The resistance is 3 ohms. So when you plug that into the problem, it's 15 voltage divided by 3 ohms, which is 3A for the current. So that's how you do number 8. Number 9, it says determine how much resistance is in the following circuit. Well, this again is a series circuit as we saw in number 6. So you just add up all R1, R2, and R3 to get the total resistance. So R1 is 100 ohms, R2 is 6 ohms, and R3 is 50 ohms. So 100 plus 6 is 106, plus 50 is 156. So our total resistance is 156 ohms. And then for the last problem, it says an electric blender is connected to a 200V outlet in the kitchen. If a mixer part of the blender has a resistance of 20 ohms, how much current is flowing through it? Well, in this one, we are again trying to find current. So again, you're going to cover up this one, and it's voltage divided by ohms. So when you rearrange the problem, it's I equals V divided by R. Well, V is 200, R is 20 ohms. So 200 divided by 20 is 10A. And that is how you do Ohms problems.